Hello and welcome to Artclstudios. I'm Hanciel and we're back with a new drawing and talking. Tonight we have Tips Tuesdays. It is Tuesday and hey Daniel, welcome to the live. Kevin, welcome. So tonight we're doing tips. Tips Tuesday is a program that I want to start that I've been doing sort of, but I want to implement it a little more. And I'll be explaining that. So first of all, I want to say thank you to those joining. I want to say thank you to those who have been here before and welcome back. This is my daily show, we can call it that, where I go live and I interact with people that are following me and just interact with anybody out there. Is anybody out there? And yeah, so I draw, I speak about what I'm doing, I speak about topics sometimes, things that arise, and I've been doing a series called Latin Tunes, where I transform a Latin artist into a Looney Tunes character, and it's been changing. The transformation has been changing from where I started to where I am now, in the fact that they're becoming more human. Before they were very animal-like, but things with the color is that I'm giving it the animal sense and the Looney Tunes character that we were using. So here we have Sedge, and Sedge is a character that I've been working on. I started him last week. Haven't finished him yet, but it's been fun to see the transformation. So real quick, I'm gonna show you guys what I started with. So I started with this sketch and it turned into this, and I wasn't too happy with it. It was gonna start looking like him at that point. It was gonna start looking like him. I was gonna go with this pose, this face, but something clicked with me and told me that it was looking too weird, too cartoony. And so I decided to redo his pose, and sort of he's doing this pose, and it happens that hola Mylene, welcome, bienvenida. It happens that Sedge and Taz are doing the same pose. Sedge y Taz están haciendo la misma pose. So yo le cogí un chin de aquí y un chin de aquí. So I took a little bit of the bottom picture and the top, and I made a new image. So because I've made one before that I feel like it was very human like, but it was also successful in the sense of creating that animal look, which was Romeo Santos here. So with this character, what I did was I pretty much kept him human. And this is what I'm planning to do with the rest. I just added a mask that has the Pepe Le Pew nose or whatever. Very simple, very cartoony, and I want to keep it. I want to keep it in that flow where the human, you can see it more, but I give the essence of the tail. If you can see here real quick, this is the reference that I use. So we can see the hair and the tail are there, and then when I put on the mask, then he has the face of Pepe Le Pew. In this one, this is the ink, so I'm almost done. You gotta finish the hands, and then the colors would be the thing that make him look like Tasmania. So that one I'll be finishing hopefully earlier tomorrow. But tonight we're starting a new one, and with that new one, I'm gonna be giving some tips. I'll be giving some tips on how to transform a character with a cartoon and combining them together. So that was a long intro to say that we'll be giving tips on creating cartoons, humans, or animal humans, Looney Tunes slash. So pretty much fusions, creating fusions. Alright, so, and by the way, I'm gonna be making shorter format videos. I've been announcing it every time I do a live, just so you guys can be prepared and you guys can be aware that I am not only making these long format videos, just want to have everything ready, and they'll be easier bite to take, you know, instead of these long 1 hour videos, it'll be probably 6 minute, 5 minute videos. So tonight we'll be turning Osuna is the next character in the list, the next and final character for this challenge that I'm doing six fan art pretty much, and I chose the Osuna because he's little and whatnot. I'm gonna be turning him into Tweety Bird. Tweety Bird. Because he's very smart and he outwits the cat every time, and he's successful at what he does. And I feel like Osuna has a lot in common with Tweety. Has that look, that very Hassle 5. Welcome to the live. So we're turning Osuna into a Looney Tunes character. Like I was saying earlier, these are some of the ones that are finished. This is almost finished. But tonight it's Osuna's turn to get turned into a cartoon. And he's being turned into Tweety Bird. So let's see here real quick. And again, like every time I do these, I like to do it from the beginning. So you guys can see the process of it. Is very, very flowy and organic. Let me know what you guys think so far about this series that I've been working on, Lighten Tunes. Leave it in the comments. If you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe. I always forget to say that in the beginning. But yeah, I appreciate a thumbs up, subscribe, and leave a comment to know that you were here. So I really appreciate your visit, you know. So I already see something that I like. I see when I'm talking about intelligence, being smart, he has his hand in his temple, and that's a sign. We associate that with somebody that's thinking or making smart moves. So Tweety has been able to survive all these years without being eaten because he's been smart. He's been outsmarting the Sylvester, the cat, every time. So I'm just gonna get some references here, and then we're gonna let's find a Tweety reference better first, so that way we can sort of go around that. This is a very simple one. So it's gonna be funny to transform this guy with the regular head and body, like regular size body, to see how this would turn out. Let's see. So I don't want to do something too simple. I want to see if I can get some emotions. And Tweety is a little feminine, or let's say, I don't know if he's a boy or girl, but no offense if anybody's taking that as an offense, that Osuna is a little feminine, but just he's very loving, let's call it that. Very loving, very caring. Alright, so because I said caring and loving, we're gonna go with this. Let's go with this image where he's showing a little more rough attitude. Alright, so we just click and drag. And like I mentioned in the past, the software I'm using is free software called PureRef. I think they also take donations if you want to give them a donation. So I'm just collecting the references now, and I think this is the last one I'll be getting, and then I'll get going to get more of Osuna's images. Alright, so also thank you to those who joined in last night for the animation. I animated some tap dancers, and it was pretty fun. It was pretty fun but hard because my computer wasn't collaborating too well. I think I had overpowered it right before I started. Let's see today if it's cooperating. Yep, it seems to be running pretty smooth. And as I said, smooth. Right there it goes. Kaboom. Okay, so what happens in the live is that I always just create the sketch and I create the idea of Hassan. Welcome to the live. So what I do in the live is that I create the sketch, the idea, and then offline I finish the piece. But what I also do is that I record the process. So all the images that I have, the 6 images, they all have the process in between. So with those is that I'll be making the shorter videos, the smaller format videos for YouTube, and explaining the reason why the character got fused with the other character, and so on and so forth. And I might also add a topic there, as I usually do when I'm drawing. I grab a topic, and in the past I've the topic in each video has been not super related to the image, but I've learned now to relate the image and the topic more, and kind of bounce back and forth between the topic and the image. That way it's not super off. And yeah, so expect those videos soon. And by soon I mean after the series is done. When the series is done, the 6 images are done, then I'll start uploading the images, and I'll be showing on my Instagram like step by step, from sketch to grays to shadows and then the color. And that should be something to look forward to. And again, I want to encourage you to subscribe to my channel. We're growing little by little. It's funny, right? So the moment I get a little discouraged, hey Lupo, welcome to the live. The moment I get a little discouraged is when things start to run again. Like I had the idea and I didn't know how long it was gonna take me before I started getting subscribers on YouTube, but it's starting to pick up, and I'm enjoying the process. If it happens too fast, then I think it will be unreal and unappreciated. So I'm liking the slow build up. And yeah, as I go, things are moving, and I'm getting to Luz. Welcome to the live, Luz. Bienvenida. Luz en medio de las tinieblas. Bienvenido, bienvenida. Welcome. So as I go, I start to see, like, I get an opening here, I get a closing here. So it's very balanced, like in life we would always get things that we can handle. We would not get nothing that we can't. So take it as is, take every challenge as an opportunity to grow, and take every loss as a learning curve. Nothing in life is set, and look at everything as an experiment to see if that could work. If it doesn't work, try something else. But don't change your goal, just change your game plan. If it's not working right now, just give it some time. Let me go to Osuna's Instagram actually and see if I can find a recent picture that was more relatable to the people. So, tips and recommendations for making art. The process that I'm doing is grabbing pictures of Latin artists and turning them into Looney Tunes. So I want to grab something that's relatable to people. So I want to see, here we see that he changed his hair color to blonde. So that's something there. And I kind of like this. And he already has the mask, which that was the other trick there. And I'm going to be, let's see, where is this thing? That I'm going to be, let me just take a screenshot. I'm gonna go over the old ones and just add a face mask. Where did it go? There we go. Add a face mask so that I can add the features of the animal. And those who have more animal features, I'll change them into be more human, and then add the mask on top. So I'll be making some changes in Bad Bunny, and I'll be adding the face mask to Takashi 69. Alright, so here we go. So I think that we have enough references here, and we can get started. So I'm gonna be using orange pencil here to start my sketches, and I'm gonna go with this mean mugging one. Even though it's like the same body, the same head, the same anatomy, it might, I don't know, it gives me energy because it's not showing an empty face. And already I see similarities in the two images that we see on the screen. So we can see that his eyebrow in this image is up like that, and his eyebrow here, we can flip it by clicking Shift and Alt, and it changes to the other side. So right away we see some similarity. So, and I like to find these things so that it makes my art make sense, because if it didn't, then it would take a lot longer to choose. Alright, so like I've done in the past, I'll go with the cartoon first. So I'll get started with that, and then I'll start turning it into the man or into the human form. And I know I should have picked a woman for this challenge, but it's been my biggest struggle to draw women. And I might throw in a 7th character just because I said that, you know. This year I want it to be more of like freely drawing whatever comes, you know. But I also gotta be, you know, intentional about the things that I want to change. So setting the intention is the first step, you know, to success or to achieve the goals that you intend for yourself. Alright, so let's go. So Tweety has a big head. And let me erase, start over. So he has a big head, and do a big circle for that. Then for the bottom we have 2 cheeks, and we could do 2 circles. And again, I'm breaking it down into the simple shapes, but this is to set the drawing to get it started. Then we can change it into more of a human form. Alright, so we can close it even here. Just close it up. And then for the neck, we gotta have like a small triangle here. And for his body, sort of like a bean shape. We can make a bean shape. And first, let's see. So I'm gonna put, because on this picture under, his shoulders are sort of slanted. So I'm just gonna go with that. So I'm gonna slant his shoulder to give him more of an attitude, make him feel more alive. And for his body, I like to do these beans or sort of like a box, right? So we could do the bean like this. You can see the bean shape there, but I wanted to get the shoulders, the shoulder lean. And we could add one shoulder here and the other shoulder down here. So we have 2 circles, right? Now let's zoom out a little bit more to see the rest of the stance. So I'm already shifting in the image, and I like these colors, but unfortunately, well, or fortunately, the blue or the aqua, this is magenta, cyan. Yeah, I don't know the turquoise. Let's call it turquoise. Might be cyan. But yeah, so turquoise will be turned into yellow, and the shoes will be turned into orange. So I like to keep at least the color scheme to the characters. So I'm gonna add the hands up like this, even though he's gonna have that jacket on. And I don't know, I might change it to the other jacket that he had, so that's something that we just have to wait and see. So for the arms, so we're sort of like cylinders, but for the forearm, I like to do these triangular shapes just to keep it simpler, you know, and to keep the shapes so that I don't have to fix too much later on. So again, welcome to Artclstudios Drawing and Talking. I believe this is episode 26. So we've been doing pretty good. We've been going on a roll, learning again as I go. It all started because I've been wanting to do this for a long time. And by the way, so Tuesdays is Tips Tuesdays. Wednesdays, well, let me start from the beginning. Mondays is Motion Mondays. Tuesdays, Tips Tuesdays. Wednesday is What's Up Wednesdays. Thursdays is Teaching Arts Thursday. Friday is Figure Friday. So every day it's gonna be a different sort of like challenge for me, but also lesson and topic to bring, so that every day is something different, something new, something fresh. If you guys have questions that you might want answered, or you want tutorials to be taught in the future, just let me know. Let me know in the comments down below. So thank you again for passing by. And because I'm new to this, I say thank you a lot. But that's also to remind myself to be appreciative. So every day is a new thing, like I mentioned. And so Motion Mondays means animation. Tips Tuesday means I'll give you guys tips or a tip as I'm working on something. And sometimes I'll be working on clients' work, so just be aware. But I'll make sure I ask permission of the client before I do that I'll be showing their work online. And it's not gonna be the finished piece because my computer doesn't allow me to work at full potential when I'm streaming. So it might be just like the idea. How do I come up with the idea? Pretty much just a crucial part. And on Wednesdays, I'll be having artists come through with books, stories. What do they do? What craft do they choose? You know, what are their struggles? Things like that, where the artists would be sharing and inspiring some of us who wants to make books, some of those artists who wants to sell our merchandise. Which, by the way, check out my store. Shameless plug. Link in my bio, so you guys can go ahead and take a look at that, or link in the video down below if you're watching on YouTube. And Thursdays, I'll be just doing a lesson. There was a time that I did a painting, and the other times that I'll do anatomy and other things like that. But as you can see here, we're giving tips on how to transform a character, a cartoon character, well, a Latin artist into a cartoon character, into a Looney Tunes character. So, again, like I said, the head for most of them have been bigger than regular, so they're not considered chibi at this point because the body proportion is not that small, but it's sort of cartoony. And also be doing this because I want to get better at animation and doing children's books. I'll show you guys real quick things that I've done in the past. Let me pull up my Instagram real quick so I can show you guys some other things that I was doing previous to this. you know, which were a little more realistic, had more complexities in them. Something like this that had highlights and shadows was something that I was working on, but it's still comic booky, you know. But before that, I was doing more realistic things. But because I wanted to venture into this world of comic book, so this is a portrait I made of my grandfather who passed away recently. So things like that is what I was doing before. Very realistic portraits. Tony, dímelo. Arte Carlos, bienvenido. Exclusively welcome to the live. So, estoy mencionando un poco de lo que yo hacía antes de meterme a hacer más muñequitos. So I'm speaking about the things I did previously, previous to this. Lost my train of thought. So the process of creating these realistic paintings may seem sometimes simpler, sometimes it may seem a little more complex, but it does take more time. I tell you that. Like sometimes these paintings take from like 7 to 12 hours to make. But thanks to technology, we can see it in a very quick render here. Dime a ver, Tony, ¿cómo tú estás? But yeah, so yo cambié de hacer cosas más realistas a cosas más como caricatura para ser más rápido la producción, para tener más flexibilidad, para tener más imaginación, porque mientras más realista es el dibujo, más referencias se necesita. So yo quiero hacer cosas de mi mente y para eso no se necesita tanta referencia. So I changed the style from going so realistic into more cartoony because I wanted to do things more from my mind. And to make realistic pieces, you have to have a lot of references. But for cartoons, you can bend things here and there. And these are the latest, as I've shown already, these are the latest drawings. And simple shadows, not so many highlights. That way the work gets done. And I can produce multiple pieces in a week. In between working with clients and all that stuff. So it's been a challenge, but it's working. It's working. Alright, so we have Tweety Bird Osuna on the way here. And we're getting there. By the way, to those who haven't subscribed yet, go ahead and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Link is on my bio. Make sure you give it a thumbs up and leave me a comment to what you think about the series. What would you like to see next? As the series is coming to an end, but we will always have things to do. If we will still have a brain and ideas, we would always have drawings to make. All right, so funny enough, la hija de Osuna está otra vez más bajita a un lado que otro. I don't know si yo estoy viendo cosas, pero se parece a Tweety Osuna. Sonriendo, cuestionando. Alright, so let's get into the nitty gritty. Alright, so we have a foot here. So Tweety's foot are pretty big. Los pies de Piolín. Piolín en español is Tweety Bird. And alright, so we're gonna go with this pose with the hat. And then we'll add the mask later on. Let's see what Osuna's mask is. Oh, just colors. Okay. So to clean up this, let's add the eyes partition here, where the eyes will be placed. So yeah, so doing cartoons is a little more free than doing realism because things don't have to make sense. You have freedom to do whatever you want, and in whatever world you make the cartoons, it will still make sense in their world, right? So let's go ahead and create a new layer, and I'm gonna be using, let's use blue, a solid blue, to start creating more of the Osuna. So the only difference, let me see, how can I show you guys? So if I were to add 2 of these feet, let's go back to the layer under. So this is the part that I change, and somewhat of the arms, because if I would have kept it like this, it would still look like 2D. I just have to add the short legs and the big feet, but it looks still more like 2D. So because we don't want to do that, we just left the legs as regular human size. So now we're getting to change the face. So now I'm gonna have to sort of block in at the ears where the mask would be held to. And this is, you know, pretty, I feel pretty happy with this pose, pretty happy with the reference that I'm using, because it's also guiding me very fast to my goal, which is transforming this character into a Looney Tunes. And we also see that the Osuna's cheek in this picture is a little bit big, so because it's caricature, I'm gonna expand on that just a little bit, not exaggerated too much. It's a cartoon, not a caricature. So a caricature is when they grab a feature and they exaggerate, so they'll have like really long noses or really long faces. You already know, welcome to the live. Because this is a cartoon character, not a caricature. If I said caricature earlier, let me correct that. We don't want to exaggerate too much. All right, so we have the head. Now let's add the neck. And the underlying drawing that I did, the rough, it's pretty much to guide my eye to guide my eye and my pen to the drawing, but I don't have to go 100% with it. Now let me double check this other jacket. Let's see. Nah, I like this jacket better. It does have the color that I'll be using, but that's easy implemented. Yeah. All right, so we're gonna go with this jacket. I like the collar and the popping collar in the jacket. All right. So what happens now is that instead of going so accurate with the drawing and trying to match it to the T, as you can see, proportions have changed, the size of the shoulders have changed. So I'm gonna go pretty loose with the proportions, and the jacket here, when it folds, I gotta learn more about folds. I know somewhat, and I've taught classes about folding, but I feel like there's always things to learn about these folds, especially when you want to draw them from your mind. What happens when you fold your arms like this? Where do you get most of the wrinkles? And usually it's the place that is bent. But when it's a jacket so wide like this one, that's not so close to the body, you get some different shapes and different folds. So if you guys can see in this one, we can see that the fold here is very tight because the jacket is sort of a leather jacket and it's like one of those tight jackets. But this one, it's more loose, so it'll create these controllable folds. Let's call them that. And I'll just leave it like this for now. And we'll get back to the fold on our second run when we're cleaning it up a little bit more. Alright, so can't see his back anymore from this pose. And so I'm using Clip Paint to draw. Is my new favorite program, thanks to my boy HGB Goblin. He recommended me this program, and something useful and quick, because I don't have an eraser on my pen. It's just pressing I get hose. I get no hose. Welcome to the live. Welcome to the live. Thank you for joining. So one thing that I do is I press C to create the eraser, and I can use the same brush that I have to erase and draw. So that saves me time. I'm always having my hand on the keyboard. So I always have my hand like this on C as I'm drawing. Just because between space and
its front line
and the keyboard and the letter C, I'm always jumping between those two things. Also, because I started the channel speaking a lot about more spiritual or inspirational topics, I want to say that the channel will be more geared towards art. I will have some inspirational quotes here and there, and I'll be myself at all times, you know, speaking highly about things and inspiring. But I'm gonna be focusing a lot more on the drawings themselves, sort of my creative process, not so much the spiritual. Now for the spiritual, if you're here to look for some spiritual guidance or some spiritual knowledge, my wife and I, we're conducting these, we have a program, let's call it that, or a meetup where we do meditations and we have a topic on Instagram, and now we're translating them into YouTube. So we'll be recording them, so those will be uploaded soon, sometime. So you can follow her at mirror.pg. She's pretty much, she invited me to be part of it, which I'm honored to. But she's running that. I'm just helping her, assisting her whatever I can. But again, you can join us there for some spiritual talk and some spiritual guidance. But here, I want to keep it more about art base, with motivation, of course. But yeah. But I appreciate everyone who's come through and has been interested in some of those inspirational talk, because God knows that I need them too. I need those words of wisdom, and when I talk, I listen to, you know. So I'm also telling things to myself. All right, so we have the other shoulder here. Again, so here we have a fold. So that's gonna be a big fold, and then here we have another fold. Everything okay? Everything okay? Oh man. Okay. Anyways. So yeah, so my wife just spilled juice upstairs. That's why I was like, whoa. So we have something somewhat solid. Let's bring the opacity down a little bit more on the under sketch, and we're starting to see something here. We're gonna have to add the hairline, and that would also tell it more of where his head is. And I don't know if we'll add the hat. Too many lines there. We might add the hat or the winter hat, but we have some curly hair coming through here. And the hat will be on top of that. J. Cruz, welcome to the live. So we're drawing and giving tips today. So we're giving tips on drawing pretty much. And as I said, giving some words of encouragement, words of wisdom whenever we can. Because, whoops, I moved the camera out of the frame. And there we go. Let's lock that in place so that we don't have to deal with that. Alright, so now we can't move anything. Alright, so to finalize, so for the pants, because they're so tight, well fitted, the wrinkles will be only like in the parts where it ends or where it bends, right? So here we can have some wrinkles like coming down on the shoulder, some folds, but on the pants, the wrinkles will be pretty much collected at the bottom. And let's see, so he's standing a little straighter in the street, in the pose. And the foot goes all the way out here. So we're keeping Tweety's big foot. Might be too hybrid, who knows, but we're gonna add the 2D element when we add the colors and the mask. Pink JJ, thank you for passing by the live. Let me get some tea. And it is 11:15, so we're almost done here. Almost been an hour of streaming, and you know, we went from finding the references, explaining the idea, to combining first the reference of the cartoon, to then adding the human part on top. And this is the way, you know, to format ideas. Sometimes it takes a long time, especially because we have unlimited resources when it comes to the internet. So sometimes, and it used to happen to me whenever I was looking for the perfect pose, the perfect reference. It took me so long to begin, and sometimes it still takes me a while to get started. But because I know I have an hour, because I have limits, I need to make sure that I give something, you know, that I deliver a product, that I deliver some content. So this makes me work faster, you know, doing these videos. And it makes me more, you know, more efficient to have the limitation of time. So he might be too small. That's pretty good. Now this foot is a little bit. Let me again pick that layer again. Bring the bucket and the baby. Alright, so we have sneakers. Let me add the design real quick. We have the design. And by the way, I didn't mention that something's happening upstairs. But yeah, so we're gonna bring down just a little bit of his jacket here. We're almost done with this. But yeah, so tomorrow we're gonna have Rashad Davis come through, and he's gonna give us some blessings about his books. He's gonna give us share some knowledge and, you know, wisdom from his experience of making books. He makes children's book. So tomorrow we'll learn all about his books and his career as an artist, as an art educator. And it's been weird and different the way we met. It was all through social media. We haven't met in person yet. We've done some video chats here and there, some text, but we haven't met in person yet. And it almost happened last year in Brooklyn Expo, but we didn't meet, or I didn't make it, or one of the two. But yeah, so tomorrow we'll have Rashad Davis here live. All right, so there we have it. We have an Osuna Tweety bird, and I'm just gonna add the eyes because I want to keep the essence of Tweety being the essence of the character. So we're gonna give him big eyes, and then we're gonna make another smaller eye here. The nose there. And so for the nose, usually the way I'll break it down is creating a circle and then two spheres, and then erasing away to whatever I see fit. You know, just to keep things in proportion. And then I'll add again the nostril part of it. So it'll be something like that. And now that I added this expression to him, let's double check the expression here. So we see that his eyebrows coming lower. And we're gonna meet the eyebrows just a little bit more. Add a little bit of wrinkles here. Let's bring it down a little more. And we're almost done. So the last thing that I do before I start coloring in shadow work and doing the shadows is do the line work. And that's at the point where I'm at with Sketch. So we'll add, yeah, so the computer is lagging a bit again. So it's giving me a little bit of a hard time to clean it up at the end, but there we have the little cockeye Osuna. Let's see if it allows me here. There we go. Now the big reveal. For the big reveal, let's take away the layer in the background, and there we have it. So it's not super clear what his intentions are or what his emotions is, but when I clean it up, I'll make sure I do that. So let's see. So we get the gist of the image. He's just not looking straight, that's all. Just gonna take away the eye for now and just leave it as is. That's more convincing. There we go. All right, so thank you so much for watching. This has been all for today. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Thank you for tuning in. Slim Panda, thank you for coming through. This has been Artclstudios drawing and talking for today. Don't forget to check out my shop. Link in my bio, link in the description down below if you're on YouTube. Thank you again. Never stop learning for you, because when you learn, you can teach others. Peace out. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to subscribe. Follow me on social media. And if you like the video, click the like button. If you want to see more videos, click the video in the middle. And don't forget, never stop learning for you.